Hello and welcome to Some Climbing News, the show where we uncover the staggering amount of drama a bunch of people climbing rocks in the woods can stir up. This week we had Brooke Rabatou sending V14 in Bishop, Joe Kinder's controversial appearance in the upcoming real rock film Death of Villains, Alex Megos grooming allegations, and so much more. This is gonna be a tough one. Please don't forget to like and subscribe if you're enjoying this show, and yeah, let's do this. And starting us off with Nicolai Uznik, who just did the first ascent of Mount Doom in Maltatal, Austria, a boulder for which he has proposed the grade of 9A/V17. And I know what you're thinking. Who the fuck is Nicolai Uznik? Well, I got the answers here. He's a comp kid, proving to the world once more what we already knew. Comp kids are strong, man. But of course, as with anyone who proposes a hard-ass ascent when they're relatively under the radar, lots and lots of questions come up. We all remember that Barefoot Charles no capot only and how savagely the 9A proposal for that was questioned, right? So let's take a look at this kid's pyramid, see what we can gather. So Nicolai has so far sent 6 8C boulders, notably Bugalize and Sit Start, From Dirt Grows the Flowers, great name, and Primitivo in Ticino. The kid has also flashed 8B+/V14, the Climb American Gangster. There's a Mellow video, it's down in the comments, as always. In one of his 8C sends, Forgotten Gems, he, almost flashed. He sent second go, loser. I'm kidding. That is, however, where the pyramid ends. His only 8C+ boulder is Emotional Landscapes, a boulder that was 8B+ until a foothold broke, and for which the only ascent is Nicolai Uznik himself. So essentially, what we're looking at is an extremely strong climber who has the ability to do 8C extremely quickly, but who has no real experience in the 8C+ range, taking about 8 to 9 sessions in total to send this proposed 9A Mount Doom. Is it enough? Let's not forget, this isn't the first time something like this happened. Let's just remember Nathaniel Coleman did send Grand Illusion 8C+/V16 before he had ever done any 8C boulder. So this is something well inside the realm of possibilities. We're all honestly just going to have to wait until Will Bosey rolls up in a vest for confirmation. But before that, I'd love to know your thoughts on this. Do you think the grade will stick? Are you surprised so many crushers out there can climb that hard with such little media attention? Let me know in the comments below. And next, we've got Allison Vest in the news for having sent Fisheye Effect 8B/V13. Now, Allison seems to be starting, and I'm going to send all the spanny powerful boulders I can questline, which, I mean, I'm more than for it. It's kind of like how Drew Ruana spent a bunch of time trying Ice Knife Sit, even though he was too short for it. If Allison is out there claiming big boy powerful moves aren't her style, while at the same time sending Fisheye Effect, Buka Buka, and that's a truck. That's a freaking truck. Are we sure that they didn't just, that there wasn't someone like, no? Yeah, of course not. Jesus Christ, she's strong. That's insane. Anyways, maybe her first 8C/V15 will happen soon. Allison has only sent one 8B+/V14 boulder so far, the legendary Show Your Scars climb in Ogden, Utah, which she did back in 2022, and which I will link to in the description below. It's high time to see another 8C, man. I hope it's gonna be her. Can't wait to see what's in the future. Gonna just have to wait. Next, we have Chris Sharma in the news. Very little to say about one of the sport's biggest legends, honestly. It's Chris Sharma. In case you missed it, the raw footage of Sleeping Lion 9B+ dropped a few days ago. Now, I'm an absolute sucker for a good climbing movie. You know, the storylines, the ups and downs, Nale throwing dice in order to really hammer home how hard Burden of Dreams is, no pun intended. And in case you know, rock itself wasn't enough to show you just how hard the problem was. But every so often, raw footage is massively appreciated, and seeing Chris passat his way up one of the world's hardest lines to show the climbing community he's still at the top of his game is not something you should miss. So, link in the description, of course, and just wondering, do you think Chris Sharma is still climbing's GOAT, or has he been surpassed? Let me know in the comments below. I mean, he's up there. And then we have Brooke Rabatou back in the news again. She's in Bishop right now. Only last week sent Spectre V13. And of course, she's now one-upped herself by sending Direct North in a single session. Do you guys remember when people had to spend like months just trying V14/8B+? And now it's just a little Instagram post no one really makes a fuss about. And honestly, why would they? If you send something in a single session, is that even hard for you? You tell your parents and friends when you do the pink one in the corner in a single session? No. You tell them about a proj when it's been a proj for long enough to even be considered a proj. And Brooke, Direct North was not a proj. It was barely a consideration. I mean, what the fuck? This girl is just primed to be the first woman to send consensus 8C+/V16. I know the whole box therapy thing is what it is, or at least to give Excalibur a repeat. Please go to Italy, please. Just do it. It's not that long a flight from wherever you are in the world. I don't know. Maybe it is. Or I mean, stay in Bishop and do something crazy like The Process. That'd be cool. And is Brooke good at high balls? I don't know. Probably. She's good at everything. But what do you guys think? Any predictions for what her next super hard send will be? Or do you think she's just going to focus on comps this year? And then some quick shot news. We've got Eva Hammelmuller sending 2 8C+ roots in just 2 days. A few weeks ago I said there was big stuff in her future. It's nice to be proven right. I'll be taking full credit for her sends of La Morenita 8C+ and Joe Blau 8C+ in Oleana. Eva, we all know you couldn't have done it without me. You're welcome. And then Austin Purdy also has just gone out and done both the Bookkeeper 8C/V15 and Bookkeeping 8C+/V16 in Clear Creek Canyon, Colorado. Bookkeeping is one of those boulders that's more a root than a boulder. It was FA'd by Drew Rana and repeated by Colin Duffy, who actually suggested giving the boulder a root grade. Kind of an interesting idea. What do you think? How many moves before a boulder becomes a root? 20? 4? It's 4. It's definitely 4. Let me know in the comments below. And just a little bit of happy YouTube stuff before we get into the more uncomfortable things in a couple of stories. Miguel Climbs has published a 15-minute short film called Keep Going that features some pretty cool first ascents of boulders in Upper Red Springs in Red Rock, Nevada. Check it out. It's actually pretty cool. Link below, of course, and as always. Next, remember 2 videos ago when I was a bit concerned about Zach Gala and his latest Black Diamond sponsorship? He deserves to make money and live a good life, but if I was him, I'd maybe, stick to just low balls, just in case. I hear portable V4 and Squamish is a pretty good challenge. You could maybe go do that. Yeah, see that. Well, I might have been a little more right than I was expecting to be, because this week Black Diamond has issued a recall for its 2025 Vision harness. Quote, due to premature degradation of its specialized materials and construction, which has the potential to create a risk of serious injury or death. Now, at the moment, Black Diamond has only gotten a single incident report of this harness failing, and that incident did not cause any serious injuries or fatalities. You can find the incident in this Mountain Project thread, which I will link below. In it, a climber posted that his harness ripped through the back when he took a 30 to 40 foot whipper. Now, there is a lot to say about Black Diamond. The reputation amongst the skiing community has been, let's say, not great. As of late, they failed to recall one of their avalanche signal beacons despite numerous reports that said those beacons would switch to receiving mode without warning and completely on their own, something that actually ended up getting someone killed. Now, you can praise the company for their response time and diligence with regards to the harness. However, it should be noted that the Mountain Project thread and the report of the Vision harness having issues happened 74 days before the harness was recalled, meaning there was a period of up to 2 months where an incident of a harness failing catastrophically had occurred, and the only thing Black Diamond did was quote-unquote investigate. But yeah, I'd love to know how you guys feel about this. Will you continue to trust Black Diamond with your life? Have you had any problems with your own Vision harness if you've been using them? I'd love to know what you think. And then Kai Lightner and Real Rock Under Fire. Again, Real Rock is on a roll, man. They must have noticed their numbers were going down. It's like some dude said at some point, like I think in the 90s or something, we realized sex sells. In the 2010s, we realized that anger sells even more. So hey, it is what it is. Controversy can be good for the wallet and for, I guess, telling challenging stories. The root of the controversy is another secondary character appearing in one of their films, this time Joe Kinder, who it seems has a very prominent role in Kai Lightner's Death of Villains movie. Now, if you don't know, Joe Kinder was, I don't know, can we still call him a pro climber? Whatever. So about 7 years ago, Joe Kinder was at the root of a serious controversy when pro climber Sasha DeJulian accused him of cyberbullying in an Instagram post. Now, to make a long story short, Joe had an anonymous and private Instagram account in which he made fun of other professional climbers, and he had been doing so for a very long time. With regards to Sasha, apparently Joe had been fat-shaming her for years and continued his cyberbullying despite the fact that Sasha reached out to him on multiple occasions asking him to stop. Now, once Sasha went public with Joe's bullying, Joe was immediately dropped by his sponsors, particularly Black Diamond and La Sportiva, who presumably did not want to be associated with him any further. Essentially, the guy lost his career. Now, 7 years later, it seems a lot of people have taken issue with the fact that Joe Kinder is being featured in high-profile films again, despite the fact that Joe has spent the past few years working to improve both himself and his image. Now, Kai Lightner has come out, spoken about this very issue. He made a post on Instagram where he addressed this entire controversy, essentially saying that he was originally hesitant to begin any sort of relationship with Joe, and that he at one point confronted Joe about the bullying, but that the relationship grew over time to the point that Kai began to see how supportive and welcoming Joe was towards everyone he climbed with. Eventually, as Kai states, Joe took me under his wing, mentored me through sending Life of Villains, routinely drove 2.5 hours just to encourage me, belay me, and much more for no tangible benefit, just to give me hope and convince me to believe in myself. Now, it seems most of the climbing community is divided not so much on whether or not Joe should be forgiven at this point, but rather whether or not he deserves to be featured in such a high-profile film. Many people argue that Joe has essentially done his time, that the punishment of being ostracized by the community at large, losing his sponsorships and livelihood, is enough to justify his return, with certain people even pointing towards the fact that Kai is exactly the kind of person Joe would have made fun of in the past, essentially taking this film and Kai's relationship with Joe as evidence for him having changed. The other side of the coin argues against Joe's appearance in Real Rock, mostly arguing that while Joe does not deserve to continue to be attacked for his mistakes, he also should not be rewarded years later by being featured in a film, especially when that happening might have a negative effect on the people he bullied. As far as the likes of Sasha and other women who were harassed by Joe, it seems Kai reached out to them before the movie was even made, as per the following comments on Instagram. And since the movie is being made, probably safe to say that they were actually okay with it. Though, I mean, you never really know. But regardless, let me pass this on to all of you. Do you believe Joe has paid for his mistakes and that he deserves some sort of redemption? Or do you believe Real Rock is wrong featuring him in their film? Yeah, let me know in the comments below. This is definitely the sort of stuff that should be talked about as much as possible. I'm excited to hear what everybody has to say. And finally, let's talk Alex Megos. Now, if you don't know, there are some pretty serious allegations surrounding Megos right now, with most of the accusations relegated to both Reddit's Climbing Circle Jerk sub and some YouTube comment sections where people are accusing Megos of grooming his current girlfriend, Sonia Timchenko. All of this began when in 2022, following the crisis in Ukraine, Alex Megos and his family opened their doors to 16 Ukrainian refugees. One of said refugees was Sonia Timchenko, who moved into Alex's home and with whom Alex took on the role of legal guardian. As of right now, Sonia is 19 years old, meaning she was only 15 or 16 depending on her birthday when she began to live with Alex. And Alex, of course, is 31, meaning there's not only a pretty big age gap, but she's a wartime refugee living in his house and he's her legal guardian thing means, well, there's a very clear and massive imbalance of power, a situation ripe for some very immoral occurrences. Now, those are the only facts that I can really present to you. The rest is really only hearsay and conjecture. We don't know when these two began their relationship. We don't know if there was any sort of coercion. We don't know how Alex acted because the parties involved have largely stayed completely silent about any and all of this. What we do have are accusations of grooming flying left and right, people claiming Alex's legal team has threatened litigation, but no proof of it that I can personally find, and tons of stuff that has been seemingly deleted, most notable of which is an episode of the Careless Talk Climbing podcast in which Zhenya Kazbekova, Alex Megos' ex-girlfriend, allegedly spoke out about the situation and what is probably a major catalyst for this whole thing more or less going viral. And I really wish I could tell you that I knew exactly what was said in that podcast, but I can't because I can't find it anywhere, and I don't know what was said in it other than someone's summary in a Reddit Climber Girls post, which I will link below. So that's where we are. No laws in Germany seem to have been broken, so there likely will never be any legal consequences for all of this unless something more nefarious comes to light. And it really just seemingly boils down to certain people thinking that the relationship Alex is currently in is morally reprehensible, and that his decision to pursue a sexual relationship with a person with whom there is such a large power imbalance is completely unethical, and those who believe that Alex has done nothing wrong. Currently, the closest that we have to a primary source for any of this are both Alex's friend Chris writing a comment on Instagram in which he wrote, "Spreading untruths about a person in passing can also have legal consequences," and a few comments the YouTuber Emil Abrahamson replied to in his latest video, which featured Alex, in which he claims the allegations are misinformation, wildly exaggerated, or untrue. So yeah, it's difficult to really know what is going on. Megos seems to have had a pretty big influx of media appearances lately, particularly with other climbing YouTubers. He's been featured in videos with Magnus Mippo, with Josh Rundle, with Catalyst Climbing, and now with Emil Abrahamson, something that hadn't really been happening much a few years ago. It's easy to become conspiratorial about it, like some nefarious PR agency trying to wipe clean any accusations. I mean, a lot of comments have been deleted on a lot of those channels. While at the same time, it's true, this influx does coincide with the opening of his new gym, the Frankenjura Academy. So it might just be marketing for that. And again, we don't have much in terms of facts. We can only really speculate about his relationship. And so with all that said, I pass the question on to you. Do you see Megos as a predatory monster? Will you continue to support him, or are you withholding judgment until something a little more tangible emerges? I'd love to know your thoughts. And of course, as always, links to everything I could find about the situation are in the description below, and I will do my best to keep you guys updated on this as the situation unfolds. But of course, that was some climbing news. My name is, I might need to come up with a different outro or something. This is getting kind of old. Please don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the show, if you want to stay updated on what is happening in the climbing world. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon. I'm still working out the scheduling bugs for this one. Sorry about that. But yeah, I'll see you soon. There we go.